DC have made a Black Label Three Jokers comic book. Ooh, it's going to tell us the origin of the Joker. What the fuck? So this is my Batman Three Jokers review. Geeks and Geekettes, 4 years ago we were teased with the prospect of the Three Jokers and their origins. So Jeff John and Jason Fabok's Three Jokers has kept Batman and Joker fans on edge for years. We've been waiting for this for 4 years. It was announced quite some time ago, where Batman sat in the chair and he asked the question, who is the Joker? And this chair told him. But the wait is now over after 4 years. Is it worth it? So it's written by Jeff Johns, art by Jason Fabok and Brad Anderson. The lettering is by Rob Lee and is published, as I said, by DC's Black Label. So there are 3 books. Part 1, Part 2 and Part 3. The concept is, these are all different versions of the Joker, and Batman is aware that there are 3 of them. I was initially excited because this was going to give us a definitive origin to the Joker, and it was bigged up and it was promised to be nothing like we were expecting, and they were right about that. So let's get into it. This story pushes Jason Todd, the Red Hood, and Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, to bond over the really tragic history at the hands of the Joker. It makes them bond over the trauma that they both suffered. It deals with Jason's bloodlust after being killed by the Joker and then resurrected, while Barbara Gordon has never let what happened to her at the hands of the Joker break her. She's become stronger through it. I've actually got the Killing Joke poster up on my ceiling there. It could be argued that Barbara Gordon healed and became even stronger, and with Jason being destroyed by what had happened to him, these two could be the same, different sides of the very same coin. But this is a Joker story, not a Two-Face story about a coin, and it's not supposed to have been about the Red Hood and Batgirl. So this setup with Barbara and the Red Hood, while it is interesting, it's not needed and it's not what I wanted. This Three Joker story doesn't need to be Batman, Batgirl and the Red Hood, and it doesn't need to be Jason, Barbara and Bruce. Batman and the Joker are 2 of the most easily recognisable comic book characters ever. Arguably Spider-Man and Superman is up there with them, but everybody knows who Batman and the Joker are. And that dynamic with Batman and the Joker is known by everybody. Heath Ledger's Joker stated, "I think you and I are destined to do this forever." And we know that. Most Batman and Joker stories come to that conclusion. Nearly every single one of them. Was bringing in Red Hood and Batgirl done to add a different dynamic to that? Maybe, but I still think this story should have been a Joker-centric story and not a Bat family story, which unfortunately is what this is. The Three Jokers story is basically, the 3 Jokers are 3 separate people, all masquerading as the Joker. And they have a plan to engineer to turn Joe Chill, the guy who killed Batman's parents, Martha and Thomas Wayne, they're going to turn him into a new Joker because they have the means to turn people into the Joker out of a Joker toxin. So they have the means to turn anyone they want really into a Joker, but they are being selective for reasons. Or that's what you think until you see the swimming pool full of dead bodies and failed experiments. That's quite a gruesome scene. But one of these Jokers does have an ulterior motive, and that motive is for Batman to save Joe Chill's life. This in turn would heal Bruce Wayne from the trauma that has defined him, like the trauma that's defined the Red Hood and Batgirl. And this plan is then that the Joker that has caused this forgiveness, makes the Joker then the centre of Batman's hatred and rage, as opposed to Joe Chill. That would make the Joker become the number one enemy, or the number one reason for Batman to exist. And while that sounds cool and good, it feels like this story has been ripped from a Batman story, like when Batman helps his various Robins move on from the trauma that defines them. And let's be honest, Joe Chill is not an interesting character. Outside of gunning down Thomas and Martha Wayne, he's not that interesting. I've not seen a story where Joe Chill is somebody I care about or I'm interested in reading. He's just a plot device for the creation of Batman. And speaking of that origin, we've all seen it, we've all read it, and we've all heard about it. It has been done to death. If we're being honest, after however many years of crime fighting, his comic book timelines, Batman probably should have got over it a little bit by now.
Oh no, he didn't.
So can this story clear up what appears to be three separate Jokers and tell us which ones are at certain points in the timeline? Can it define the comedian Joker as the Joker that shot Barbara Gordon? Can it finally prove if the killer Joker, or if the criminal Joker, killed Jason Todd? As the reader, there appears to have been probably more than three different Jokers, because they changed between the Silver Age, the Golden Age, and the Modern Age. We seem to have seen many different versions of this character in the past, and that's what I was hoping this book, or these three books, would take us. Who are the three defined Jokers? And what crimes have they committed specifically? What characteristics are they? Could one of them really have always been Joe Chill all along? Did indeed turn out to be the Joker? Or one of the Jokers? Or perhaps one of his sons, because his sons are used in the comics at certain intervals. Or could one be Jack Napier, straight out of Batman 89? And all of that could have been some twists for interest in reading. Well, the answer is definitively no. I've read all three books, and I'm still none of the wiser. As a self-contained story, this is a good read, but this story is considered canon to the DC universe. But DC have put it out on a black label because I think they don't have the confidence in this story to keep fans happy. And they can say, well, actually, no, it's on a black label, it's not canon, if we decide that it didn't sell well. And I think that's what's going to happen. This will maybe further down the road become like Killing Joke, and it becomes its own entity that everyone loves. But at the moment, I can't see it, and especially if this is canon. This book was meant to answer the age-old question of who is the Joker. Firstly, do we even need to know now? Either way, we were going to find out. I was interested in it, but at the same point, I like my Joker being past his multiple choice, and he is just chaos. There's no rhyme or reason to what he does, but I was interested in where they could go with this. It could have subverted my expectations. The biggest reveal is that there are in fact three different Jokers. One of them says, I am chaos, I am the devil, I am nothing to you, and everything. This statement is the Joker claiming to be Batman's ultimate villain, his nemesis. Well, we know that. He's been his nemesis from issue 1, apart from when he disappeared for a little while. It's nothing new, it's nothing I've not read before, and at best, it's a safety net for these books to fall back on. And at worst, it is a total cop-out. Across the 3 issues, the art team does an absolutely incredible job. These 3 books look amazing. You get these little cards in with the books, and then this amazing artwork. Really top-notch artwork there, and I do like the addition of these Joker cards with the 3 members of the Bat family. When you consider all 3 Jokers are green hair, white skin, red lips, purple suit, the artists have done a good enough job where you can tell all 3 Jokers apart from each other in different panels. I mean, obviously the criminal Joker is sort of the golden age older Joker. The comedian Joker is the guy that I think shot Barbara Gordon, I think. So the older Joker would be the original Joker. This will be sort of 80s, 90s Joker. And then there's the psychopathic chaos Joker, which I think is the Joker that's in canon now, the guy that peeled his own face off, etc. I think, because this book doesn't really clear the past up. But the artists have rendered each of these three very similar looking characters well enough where you can tell the difference in these books. Not for the past, but for these three individual books. However, there seems to be some sort of obsession with a 9-panel page through all three of these. And it instantly took me out of the book and into somebody's copying The Watchmen here. Now, I was aware, reading The Watchmen, of the 9-panel art style, and it's almost been thrown into these books, and it made me think, well, this is a lot like The Watchmen. Why would you do something that's already been created? There's the odd splash, but just odd. It was almost like this guy was trying to remind me of The Watchmen. There were tons and tons of fan theories about the release of this book. It got Bat fans into a bit of a frenzy. And the release of the first 2 issues, that frenzy kept going because it was building, and it was building well. But for me, the excitement and the hope in this finale just sucked the life out of the entire thing. The idea of a team of 3 Jokers committing various acts over the years, 3 separate personalities, 3 different types of crime, was intriguing, and it could have explained away a lot of DC's inconsistencies, or the comic book inconsistencies. Even some of the Bat family inconsistencies could have been cleared up through this. It could have fleshed out these 3 separate Jokers, but the story doesn't feel complete. I still feel like all I know is there are 3 Jokers, which we knew 4 years ago. This book promised a lot, and all it's really delivered is more questions. All they've really delivered to me is a story based around the title. It's not the groundbreaking holy shit moment I was looking for and what I was wanting. All that being said, this is not a poorly made comic book. The art team of fabric and colorist Brad Anderson, letterer Rob Lee, make sure these 3 books feel AAA quality, AAA class. The issue is John's trying to answer a question that we never needed the answer to. The Joker is popular enough and has been around long enough to not need those questions answered. If you're going to attempt them, bring something new to the table. This book attempts to tie up loose ends and plot holes, yet somehow creates even more loose ends and plot holes than when it started. It even creates its own inconsistencies within this series. And I'm still unsure as to which Joker has done what. This book didn't answer it. Now, a lot of stuff was answered, but for the most part, it just seems like the Killing Joke Joker, which is one of the most popular, is the sole surviving Joker. I think the 3 Jokers' true potential has never fully been realised, and the story of Barbara and Jason, it falls flat on its face. The kiss between Jason and Barbara feels at odds with years and years and years worth of story writing, and it's almost a bit creepy considering the family dynamic of Batman and his wards and Batgirl. Just odd and creepy, to be honest, and it wasn't for me. In its own story, its own universe, that could have worked, but if this is canon, it doesn't fit. So this book is all about Bat family trauma, and there is absolutely nothing insightful into that trauma. If you're going to concentrate on the Bat family's trauma, give us a bit of insight. There's nothing insightful about the good and evil of Batman and the Joker. In fact, I would argue these 3 books feel like Jeff Johns trying to claim old stories as his own work, and that's hard to say after the build-up that this thing had. It just feels like he's claiming ownership for 80 years of Batman and the Joker. It's like he's claiming all ownership of the comic lore going forward. It feels plagiarized. Can't say that word. It feels plagiarized. It feels plagiarized from stories I've read and loved from reading comic books over however many years I've been reading them. And what's worse is, if this is now the canon, I think it'll actually cheapen the future of the stories between Batman and the Joker. So who is the Joker? The question this story promised to answer, but it fucked it up. If you ask a child, someone my age, my dad, even my in-laws, people's grandparents, and you ask them who Batman's nemesis is, they will all say the Joker. That is something that everybody knows. Absolutely everybody knows that Batman's nemesis is the Joker. And all these 3 books have done is tell us that there is one Joker now, and it's Batman's nemesis. Thanks. It's beautifully drawn, it's artistically brilliant, but the end story, it was disappointing, disjointed, and pointless. This is going to seem like a really harsh review, but that's my view on it. Marks out of 10, I'll give it 5, and that's just because of the artwork. There are elements to the story I like the idea, but the execution was piss poor. Part 1, Part 2 got me quite excited, and I was thinking maybe I do need to read this story, maybe I do need to know where the Joker came from. And then this Part 3 just did a massive shit all over the previous 2. So there we go, guys. Have you read the 3 Jokers? Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought. I've seen some people, after I read these and I wrote my review, I've watched other reviews and people love this book, and I can't see why. Some people genuinely hate it as a lot more than I do. I don't hate it, I'm just think it was a waste of time. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like, comment, share and subscribe on the video, as it really helps my channel to grow. I've been the Bearded Geek. That was my review of the 3 Jokers. I shall catch you again soon for another review or an unboxing. Goodbye.